It is with a heavy heart that I am making this video. Unfortunately, 11 people were killed in Vancouver, Canada last Saturday, so on the 26th of April. As a Canadian living in Manila, I feel somehow close to this event, okay? As a matter of fact, my dad called me yesterday asking me if I was okay, because I don't know why he thought that maybe I was in this festival in Vancouver when he knows that I am living in Manila right now. But he thought maybe I was on my way back to Canada because I do intend to go back to Canada soon for a brief period. But anyway, this is horrible. I mean, seriously, it's a driver that killed 11 people at the LAPU LAPU Festival. So I am bringing you this news. I will be reading the article from the GMA News, okay? And then at the end, I will also read a statement from the president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Okay? But before we start, maligayang pagbabalik sa aking channel. Ako po si Ovela. I'm a sound engineer, beatmaker, and content creator on YouTube based here in Manila, Philippines. But before we start, my heart goes to all the families that have been impacted by this tragedy. More power to all of you. All right, Pinoy abroad. Driver kills at least 11 people at Filipino festival in Vancouver, which means, unfortunately, that maybe he might have killed more. This is terrible, terrible, terrible news. At least 11 people were killed after a driver plowed into a crowd at a street festival on Saturday in the Canadian city of Vancouver, local police said. So, Vancouver is a huge and expensive city on the west coast of Canada, which is a city that is filled with Filipinos because, let's face it, it's a city where they speak English and it's a city that is close-ish to the Philippines. And I say this because I'm from the east coast of Canada. I'm from Montreal, where we speak French and English. And we do not find a lot of Filipinos there. There is a small community, but again, it is very small because it is extremely far from the Philippines, even farther than Vancouver. And also because, Filipinos rather immigrate to a city where they can actually speak the language, Vancouver police earlier confirmed that 9 people died after a man drove through a crowd at the LAPU LAPU Festival. In an update, the authorities amended the number of dead to 11. A number of people have been killed and multiple others are injured, police also said. The driver is in custody. Okay, that's good. The fact that the driver is in custody. The incident happened as members of the Filipino community gathered to celebrate Lapu Lapu Day. Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim posted on X. Oh my God, it must have been terrifying because Filipinos are very united, and I'm sure that they have festivals like this very often, and Filipinos are not shy. They will go to festivals, they will gather, so you will find a huge amount of Filipinos gathered in one place, So, oh my God. The festival, which commemorates a Filipino anti-colonial leader from the 16th century, falls this year on the weekend before Canada's election. That is true. Oh my God, what a terrible coincidence. Our thoughts are with all those affected and with Vancouver's Filipino community during this incredibly difficult time, Sim wrote. Police said the incident happened shortly after 8 p.m. Saturday in the city's Sunset on Fraser neighborhood. A lone suspect, subject male with one vehicle, drove through a crowded community event occurring near here. That male was taken into custody at the scene by the crowd. Wow, it's actually the crowd that stopped him. I wonder if he tried to flee or anything like that. And why did he do this, man? What's his goal? It was a Filipino community event. Vancouver Police Interim Chief Steve Reid said in Mav Gonzalez's Sunday report on 24 Horas weekend. Horas means hours. It would be unfair for me to speculate on exact numbers as the victims were taken to multiple hospitals in the region, he added. So you see, maybe eventually the number of victims will raise. Hopefully not. Photos published by Canadian broadcaster CBC showed emergency crews at the scene as well as large crowds at the block party earlier Saturday. Festival security guard Jen Idaba Castaneto told local news site Vancouver is awesome that she saw bodies everywhere. You don't know who to help here or there. It's so shocking, she said. British Columbia Premier David Eby said he was shocked and heartbroken by the news in a post on X. Election season. Saturday's event featured a parade, a film screening, dancing, and a concert, so it was such a happy event. With two members of the Black Eyed Peas featured on the lineup published by the organizers, so it was a huge thing. Oh, I wonder if, what's his name? The Filipino artists from the Black Eyed Peas were there. It must be him. Apple the App, there you go. Apple the App probably was one of those two. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families, of course, and our hearts goes to them as well. And Vancouver's Filipino community. Jagmeet Singh, leader of the left-wing New Democratic Party, said on X, Lapu Lapu Day is celebrated in the Philippines in remembrance of indigenous chief Lapu Lapu, who led his men to defeat Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan in battle in 1521. The deadly incident comes a year after Canadian Nathaniel Veltman was sentenced to life in prison for running down a Muslim family with his truck on the street in London, Ontario in 2021. Wow, this sounds very familiar. I wonder if this person that plowed into the crowd this Saturday had the same type of motive. The ruling in Veltman's case was the first in Canada to make a link between white supremacy and terrorism in a murder case. Canadians go to the polls Monday after a frenetic election race where candidates have wooed voters on issues including US President Donald Trump's tariffs and rising living costs. Yes, my God, I left Canada at the right time. I mean, life over there is so expensive. Many Canadians and Filipinos have watched my video about the cost of living in the Philippines, and because they know I'm a Canadian, they were also sharing how expensive life in Canada has become. Prime Minister Mark Carney is favored to win after assuring voters he can stand up to Washington's barrage of sweeping tariffs. His Liberal Party trailed the Conservatives by more than 20 points in most polls on January 6th, the day former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced his plans to resign. So there you have it. That was the end of the article. Now let's read the statement by the Filipino president. On a day meant to honor the courage of Lapu Lapu, our kababayans in Vancouver became victims of an unspeakable tragedy. As your president and as a father, I share in your grief and your anguish. The lives lost will not be forgotten. The Filipino people stand together in mourning, in prayer, and in unwavering support. Yes, that is something that I admire with Filipinos, it's the fact that they are extremely united, whether it be here in the Philippines, but also abroad, especially abroad, I would say, you know. And it's something that is very similar with Algeria, where I'm also from. Well, actually, I'm from Algeria, firstly, you know, and secondly, from Canada. We will do everything in our power to bring comfort, to bring help, and to honor their memory with action. We have given specific instructions to our diplomats and staff in Vancouver to extend assistance to the victims and coordinate with Canadian authorities properly. I encourage everyone concerned to keep calm but remain vigilant. Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines. There you have it. And once again, our prayers, thoughts, and hearts go out to all the families that have been impacted by this tragedy. More power to all of you. Okay, feel free to let us know, you know, your thoughts about what happened. I really do hope and cross my finger that you all are safe, that your families are safe, that your friends are safe, that none of the people that you know, were near Vancouver, you know. Have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. Maraming salamat po. And if you found value in this video, do not hesitate to check out my other videos right here.